Okay, in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 3.2 notes. So here are the 3.2 notes starting on page 7. So some of the vocabulary we've already gone over in the 3.1, but it's worth going over again because when we change the two lines that are cut by a transversal into parallel lines, very important things start happening. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit larger so we can talk about the different pieces. So corresponding angles. They are angles that have corresponding positions. Okay, so this line right here is the transversal. This line and this line are the two lines that are cut by the transversal. Okay, so if you look at the gold stars, the gold stars are located to the right of the transversal and above the closest line. So that's the same address. To the left of the transversal and above the line. Same address, they are corresponding. Look at the red stars. They are to the right of the transversal and above their line. Same address, they're corresponding. Look at the blue stars. They are to the left of the transversal and below the line. Same address, they're corresponding. Look at the green stars. The green stars are to the right of the transversal and below their lines. Those are all the corresponding angles. Okay, so there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles. The next vocab is alternate interior angles. I've made the interior yellow. Interior means between the two lines. And the blue stars alternate on either side of that transversal. The purple stars alternate on either side of that transversal. So they are alternate interior angles. Okay, keep going. Okay, alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles live on the outside. So on this outside, right here and right here, the kind of the orangey shaded region, that's the exterior. It's outside both of those lines. So the blue are alternate exterior. They're on either side of the transversal. And the red are alternate exterior. They are on either side of the transversal. Next vocab, and feel free to stop and listen to any of these pieces whenever you want to. Consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles, also known as same side interior, are in the inside. That's why it's shaded yellow, just like it was shaded yellow here. And these angles do not alternate. They are on the same side or they're consecutive in a row. So the blues are consecutive interior and the reds are consecutive interior. Okay, so that's our background. Now everything starts to change. These postulates tell us what happens when the two lines in question are parallel. So what I did was I took the picture I had above and I circled it and brought it down, made a copy of it. So now, if these two lines are parallel, then all of these corresponding angles are now equal. They're only equal if the lines are parallel. All right, so that's a very, very important point. Okay, let's go on to alternate interior angles. If the lines are parallel, the alternate interior angles are equal. They are only equal when those two lines are parallel. Continuing on, alternate exterior. If the lines are parallel, the alternate exterior are equal. This only works if the lines are parallel. And the last thing, the consecutive interior angles, also known as same side interior. If the lines are parallel, these two pair, right, the pair that we identified, they are not equal, but they are supplementary, which means that they sum to 180. All right? So you have 3 pairs You have the corresponding, the alternate interior, and the alternate exterior. They will all be equal in pairs when you have parallel lines. The consecutive interior angles will be supplementary. They will add to 180. Okay, so you want to definitely understand that. You may need to go back over that again. Okay, so here are some examples. The measure of 3 of the numbered angles is 120. Can you find them? Where are they? So I'm saying let's find all the angles. So look, this little red arrow here tells me that these 2 lines are parallel. If those lines are parallel, and this is the transversal, then nice things start to happen. Okay, corresponding angles. This red angle and this red angle are corresponding. They will both be 120 degrees. Okay, look down here. This angle 4 is 120 because this angle of 120 and this angle are vertical, and that's why they are the same. So vertical lines or vertical angles are always going to be congruent. They don't have to be in parallel situations like we have here. They will always be congruent. So angle 4 is another one of those 120s. Okay, angle 4 and angle 8 are congruent because why? Because they are corresponding angles. So here's another 120. Then, because I know that angle 120 here and angle 2 are on a straight line, they're linear, they will sum to 180. So I know this has to be 60. If 2 is 60, 3 is 60 because it's a vertical angle. Okay, angle 2 and angle 6 are both 60 because they're corresponding angles. Angle 3 and angle 7 are both 60 because they're corresponding angles. So what I'm telling you is that if I give you one of the angle measurements in a situation where you have 2 parallel lines cut by a transversal, you are able to figure out all the other angles. If I give you one, you can give me 7 more. Okay, that's very, very important. So think about that. Think about what you know about vertical angles already. Think about what you know about linear pairs already, because that was from the previous chapter, actually 2 chapters ago. It was in chapter 1. Okay, here's another example. Use properties of parallel lines and find the value of x. So, what we know about angle 4 and this angle down here is that they are same side interior, so they will sum to 180. We didn't know the measurement of angle 4, but since this up here is 115, angle 4 has to be 115 because they are vertical angles. So now I know that 115 plus x plus 5 has to equal 180 because angle 4 and the angle below it, which is the consecutive interior angle, will sum to 180 when the lines are parallel. And these little red arrows tell me that they're parallel. Okay, do your math. Add the same items together. So number plus number gives you number, that's 120, plus x equals 180. Your goal is to isolate x, subtract 120 from both sides, and you have x equals 60. Okay, so if x equals 60, what is this angle? Well, it's 60 plus 5, which is 65. Now let's check our work. 115 plus 65 does indeed equal 180, and that means that we know we have got the correct answer because these 2 angles should have been supplementary. Okay, the last example they give us here has to do with this raindrop. So you know how sometimes if it rains in the morning or in the evening when the angle of the sun is low in the horizon, how you can get a rainbow? So what they're saying here is the rays from the sun, those are these yellow lines, are always parallel. Here is this person looking out. She's looking out. Her line of vision you can consider a transversal. Angle 1 and angle 2 are alternate interior angles, because this is the inside. And it says here, excuse this typing issue, it's a compatibility issue. This should say measure of angle 2. They tell us that this is 40 degrees. Because you have parallel lines cut by a transversal, alternate interior are equal, and those lines being parallel, let us say that angle 1 equals angle 2. If they tell us angle 2 is 40, then we know angle 1 is 40. Okay? So that's the lesson. So based on that, you should be able to finish this homework. This is a very, very important lesson, so make sure that you understand the material, and as you read the questions down here, go back up and look at the notes, because the notes will absolutely help you.